Tectone is a gaming streamer with nearly 1 million followers. As most people are probably aware of, Tectone was facing major allegations from an ex of his late last year. His ex, Pinky Chew, was accusing him of both mental and sexual abuse. While that whole situation is still ongoing and has no definitive answer as of yet, it has recently come out that Tectone's dad has been charged with stuff very similar to what Tectone was being accused of, and it circles back into the allegations he faced a little over a few months ago. So for today's video, we're going to go over the allegations made against Tectone in the past, as well as the charges that were filed against his father, and how they're relevant to modern day. But before we get into that, you should subscribe so that I can feed my starving family. That would be based and epic. So, to start the video off, we should go over the allegations that Tectone faced back in November of last year. It all started when his now ex-girlfriend Pinky Chew made a thread on Twitter. Now, she never named Tectone in this initial thread, but it was quickly sleuthed who she was talking about. She alleges that Tectone was very mentally abusive, making her cry, and would shove her face into his crotch while demanding she suck him off, and that he would get turned on when she cried. She also says she wouldn't be comfortable doing something sexual, so Tectone's response is to record her and demand she stop making faces and pretend to like it. According to her, she would tell him she wanted to stop, to which he would shove her head down until she threw up. And he would guilt trip her into giving him blowjobs by saying she doesn't pay rent, and how she would sleep upstairs to avoid having to do this. He apparently would degrade her, and she felt like a personal blowjob machine, and would make fun of her appearance and outfit. Pinky went on to say that it crushed her self-worth, and that other people had apparently warned her about this, and that another girl had gone through way worse. Basically, she's saying she's not the only alleged victim of Tectone's. Now, as I said, these are allegations that have not been proven, so please don't take this as gospel or fact. This isn't the first time that his relationship has been a public spectacle either. In March of 2024, there was a whole discourse on if Tectone had divorced his wife Freem to get together with Pinky. Some people even accused him of having an affair with her. This seems unlikely though, considering the fact that he filed for divorce back in 2022. Now, some people think that the other girl Pinky was referring to was Tectone's ex-wife Freem, but Pinky had spent all of about a year accusing his ex of cheating on him with an assistant on a cruise ship apparently. So if she was referring to Freem, then it appears as though the two of them had made up since then. Obviously, Tectone wasn't too happy to hear about this.
I did everything for you. I helped you with everything. I fixed everything for you.
He responded on stream, and his response definitely could have been better.
I was there for you like nobody else was there for you in your whole life. Your words, not mine. The fact that you're letting these people get into your ear, people, the same people who are talking behind my back illegally, by the way, the same people who placed me under an NDA where I cannot talk about them. I know they're talking to you right now behind the scenes, letting them get in your head and make you imagine problems that never happened.
What he's implying is his ex has him under NDA, so he can't say anything about her. Tectone also does say he did anything for her when no one else did, which is kind of something Pinky said he did, but I mean, it's not really much. But essentially, he's denying the claims by saying that his ex-wife is getting to her and making her believe in lies that she's telling her, and that somehow is making her imagine problems. Now, that's a really weird way to respond to allegations that instead of just saying they're false. That does kind of seem, though, what he is obviously implying, though, so I guess it goes without saying. Essentially, though, she made allegations without any actual evidence, and Tectone came out to publicly deny it. That's about as far as those allegations went, and for a while, the allegations were long since dormant. That is, until Tectone got into drama with Hassan. Now, Hassan is largely unrelated to what's going on with Tectone right now. A lot of it was the usual bullshit, but what it amounted to is people found out that Tectone's dad is not a good dude by any means. Hassan had brought up Tectone's dad on stream before after they were both beefing for a while, to which Tectone responded, "Bro's going after my 75-year-old cancer-ridden dad because of an alleged sexual harassment claim from 17 years ago when I was 15 years old to try to paint me as a rapist. This guy is fucking psychotic. He must be upset because his best friend on trial right now." After this tweet was made, people dug more into Tectone's dad, to which a whole slew of info on his dad was discovered. Essentially what happened is people found out that Tectone's dad has received 14 charges while he served in the military, which include having porn on his computer, as well as sexually harassing 3 women and assaulting 5 other women. While the stuff said about Tectone before were allegations, these are actual criminal charges. And there are a lot of people who would call this cringe. I'm one of them, but the reason why it's relevant to bring up Tectone's dad during this situation is not only because they are relevant to the allegations Pinky made, which we will circle back to, but Tectone did try to use his dad's military service as an own, so I hate to say it, but it does kind of seem relevant. It doesn't excuse his main point of Twitch needing to be more strict on bans, by the way. I just want that to be clear. But Tectone used his dad as an example of a great military veteran when he's clearly anything but. His dad was forced to pay a $30,000 fine over the span of 3 months, as well as spend 3 months in jail. This case even went on to cause them to try and pass bills to address how sexual assault is handled in the military. There's even a video from 2011 of the congressional hearing in regards to Tectone's dad. And judging by the quality, it definitely looks like it's from 2011. After this came out, Tectone obviously didn't take it well. On his return stream, he was crying about the actions of his father, and even stated he would no longer be interacting with him.
I suppose, due to this all being resurfaced by Hassan, I suppose I will no longer be interacting with my father in any way, shape, or form.
He also recounts how 2 days before this sentence, his father took his anger out on him by throwing him to the ground and putting a gun against his head.
And obviously he took some of the aggression out on me. About 2 days before he got sent to jail, I got back from soccer practice, which I joined because I wanted to make my dad proud. And my father threw me to the ground and put a gun against my head. And he said, "Give me a good reason not to shoot you."
He also states that they only talk about every 3 to 4 months, and he only let him back into his life 3 years ago after he learned he had cancer.
He told me that he has cancer. And he doesn't think that he has much time left. Due to that, which was about 3 or so years ago, I take him back into my life, and it was pretty bumpy. We maybe talked about once every 3 or 4 months or so.
And I want to clear this up before anyone says anything. Just because Tectone's dad is a piece of shit, that doesn't mean Tectone has done the same crimes. Sorry, that's just like not how that works. I see people say this all the time, but no. Just because his dad is a sex criminal, that doesn't mean that got passed down to his son. And if you think that is how that works, I think you're psychotic. So the reason why this whole thing is relevant, as I was bringing up earlier, is because Pinky has roped Tectone's dad into the allegations she made last year. She alleges that Tectone's father would nonstop talk about wanting to have relations with a podcast member, and he also joked about women being raped in Vietnam. He would also apparently talk about how the women who accused him of SA in the military were all liars. She ends the tweet off talking about how she is apparently working with the police and that it's an incredibly slow process. Notice she says still working with the police, by the way. That will be relevant later. After people called her a liar, she decided to up and post the emails that she has had with the police department, which is apparently not new. She apparently claimed to be working with the police in the past when she originally accused Tectone. The emails don't really dictate or tell us a lot from them though. She just posted them to tell us purely she was in contact with the police. Tectone then went on to respond on stream, saying that he went to the police himself to see if anything was happening and even wanting to speed up the process of whatever she was doing.
I mean, guys, when you guys get to see how false, let me phrase that. Hopefully you guys get to see how false the allegations are within the next 3 fucking years. Hopefully, guys, I'll be real. I went to the police yesterday. Saying, hey, let's hurry this shit up.
So he's essentially saying that these people are doing a lot of talking, yet not a lot of action is actually happening. The last relevant thing is a tweet he made where he once again reiterates that it's been months of waiting and nothing has come from it. He says he's fully willing to work with the Austin Police Department to get this cleared up, and while he knows it takes time to do investigations like this, it's difficult to have to wait for as long as he has. And with that though, that's essentially everything we have in regards to the current Tectone situation. I want to reiterate that even though his dad is a genuine piece of shit, that does not mean Tectone is also guilty of what his ex is accusing him of. To even think that and to make that claim is beyond insane. Tectone, despite being accused of some bad shit, has maintained his innocence, and without any actual evidence to back up the claims made against him, we have nothing to go off of other than Pinky's testimony. So, until the supposed police investigation happens and we get a definitive answer on whether or not he's a bad guy, as far as we know, he has done nothing wrong. I guess how I can round this off is that despite accusations against him, there's nothing concrete against Tectone, so people should stop trying to say that he's as bad as his dad. But Tectone should also stop trying to prop his dad up as some type of war hero as well, considering the guy seems to be absolutely demonic, essentially. And with that, I think we're going to end the video. I don't know, join the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe, or else you too might run into Tectone's dad in the military. Anyway, I don't know. Later.